Over the last 10 years, I have lived and breathed sales, mainly phone sales. I've always loved phone sales way more than I've liked in person sales. Today, I'm going to dive into how to make the most amount of money possible in any sales job, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. If you're the owner of the company and you're by yourself sitting at a desk looking to generate revenue, or you just started in a business development role at a company that's been around for 20 years and you want to change the company and change your life, here's how you do it. Any amount of sales revenue is generated off of volume. You can't have volume without moving fast, selling like your hair is on fire. So number one, we need to build for speed. Any good sales department is set up so that you can show up every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and start ripping calls, emails, whatever it is that you do as fast as possible to try to reach the most amount of customers and pitch them. Max dollars requires max volume. Max volume requires speed. Speed requires organization and prep, and that's where we're going to start. Week one on your road to max amount of sales dollars is just mastering your CRM. If you're showing up at a company that's been around and has some CRM that you're blowing dust off of, that's okay. If you don't have a CRM, make your boss, or if you're the boss, invest the $99 a month in Salesforce or whatever and get one and start building it. If you build a CRM the right way, so detailed to the point where if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, a 5-year-old can pick it up and do your job, you are going to be able to move extremely fast and generate a ton of money for the business and in turn, hopefully for yourself. So week one, we're just mastering the CRM. Let's assume you started a sales job at a company that's been around and it has a CRM already in place. Over the next 5 days, you need to master how everything is laid out. Where do I find the appropriate point of contact? How many accounts are already in there? How many more can I add? Contact information, and most importantly, notes for quality of relationship. We need speed, and then we need quality behind that speed, but it needs to be plug and play. There's nothing worse than throwing leads into a dialer or dialing till your hair's on fire and then getting someone actually on the phone, pooping down your leg and not knowing what to do. So let's get the system set up for the speed first. And then next week, we're going to work on mastering our pitch and going from there. So week one, we are just mastering our CRM. Week two, we're mastering our script. So we're building for speed, volume, speed, in turn, quality with quantity. You're going to get max dollars and max sales. So assuming you start a sales job that has some dusty old CRM, dive into it head first. Ask your boss or other people on your sales team what everything means. If it is extremely robust, you want to just hop in day one and try to find out how you can add more new clients to the CRM. I guarantee you there is an opportunity to expand either geographically or in new service lines, whatever. But if there's only 100 clients in this CRM and you can't add more clients and you're one sales guy or on a team of sales guy, there's no opportunity. There's not enough fish in the pond, right? We want to add as many new clients as possible. As you're adding those new clients, you're going to set up the CRM so that you can best understand it. Remember, you get it by a bus, 5-year-old takes it over. It should be that simple. It's not fancy, it is simple, and it's direct. The CRM has 3 main components: point of contact, personalized notes, and follow-up. That's it. Your CRM is nothing more than an extreme repository of your brain. As you are talking to dozens of people every day, your CRM is just the tool that allows you to dump all of your notes from that minute-long call or 30-minute long call, and then go do 70 more of them before the day's up. And then when you talk to them in a month from now, you can make it sound like you remember every detail of that conversation like it happened 30 seconds ago. That is quality. That's quality of sales. The difference between the guy who brings in $10 million a year and $100,000 a year is just the quality of their sales and how fast they move, how many different people they contact every day, how many people they get on the phone every day. And when they get those people on the phone, are they delivering an A+ call with quality or a D- F call and just getting off the phone as soon as possible because they're not prepared and they don't know what to say? So number one, you need to know who is the person to call. As you're adding those new accounts or you're diving into old accounts, that's your number one question. You can get this from admins, secretaries, other people, whatever. My number one question is, just to confirm, are you the right person to talk to about this? Because you're going to get a lot of no's from people. Hey, my name's Sam. I'm calling from XYZ Services. I'm looking to reach the person in contact of whatever I'm selling. No, I'm not interested. Oh, okay. Are you the right person to talk to about this? Half the time, they're going to say, no, I'm not. And they were just telling you no just to get you off the phone. I don't blame them. If someone called me and was trying to sell me a service that I do not have any responsibility for, I would just tell them no and, screw off to the end of life. But by just asking directly, are you the correct point of contact for this? Another 25% of the time, no, I'm not. Oh, okay, well, who is? That's actually Derek over in, facilities. Oh, great. What's Derek's last name? Great. Do you have his email address? Great. Do you have his phone number? As long as they're continuing to give me information, I'm going to keep getting as much as I can. Short of Derek's social security number, I want everything I can to make my job that much easier, and I can move that much faster to get Derek on the phone here in the next 30 minutes. And then when I get Derek on the phone, hey, Derek, I got your information from Jane over in accounting. She was great. You got 5 minutes? That's it. It's a weird backwards way of a referral almost. Lowers the barrier with Derek when you get him on the phone because Jane gave you his information. He knows Jane. He talks to Jane at the water cooler all the time. Point of contact, number one, you got to know who you're calling. If you can spend months, if not years, I've done it, calling C-suite executives just to get them on the phone, and then you finally get them on the phone and they tell you that they have nothing to do with that decision. And for the last year and a half, you could have been calling the right guy or gal. Number one, you got to know who is the right person to talk to. I would ask everybody at that organization or that institution who the right person to talk to before you do anything else. Number two, personalized notes. The CRM, I would say the most valuable part of the CRM is how personal the note should be. We spoke about his birthday, his daughter's birthday, his son's bar mitzvah, whatever. I told him that I'm about to have a child. I told him I just moved. He likes talking about the San Francisco 49ers. All of that stuff goes into my notes. So the next time I get him on the phone in 90 days, hey, it's Sam. Yeah, actually my daughter came. She's 3 months old now. Oh yeah, another remembrance point. Because you know how many sales guys call this guy? But you know how many of them bring up their family, his family, remember those notes? The CRM is everything that you need to keep in your brain that you can't physically keep. Put it into the notes. And it should read, like I said, a 5-year-old can read it. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be extravagant. It needs to be simple, direct, and organized. And number three, every time we end a call, we are always directing when the follow-up is going to be. And ideally, it's as soon as possible. Unless someone has a heart transplant tomorrow, we're talking tomorrow. And if the heart transplant's tomorrow, I'll talk to you the day after tomorrow, and I'll bring you some, flowers for recovery. But CRM, point of contact, personalized notes, and follow-up directive for both you and for them. Week one gets through. You got your CRM. You understand it. You know how to navigate through it. You're adding new clients to it. Week two, we're still not making phone calls yet. Trust me, you're going to be making phone calls for years. Spending the 2 weeks doing this is going to get you so much further over those 2 years than just jumping into it failing and in 6 months saying you need a new job. So week 2, we are going to master our pitch. Pitch, script, whatever you want to call it. I was a D3 mediocre baseball player. Let's lean into the pitch side. I am a huge fan of the straight line sales approach. I'm not a huge fan of everything that Jordan Belfort's done in his life. But take the time, read his book about the straight line sales, or buy the course. I bought the course when I was probably 22 years old. Great return on investment. It was not much. It might have been $200. Fantastic return on investment. So the number one thing he talks about in that course, and I swear by it to this day, is tonality. Then he talks about being sharp as a tack. I consider that knowledge base. And then number 3, enthusiasm. How do you spell enthusiasm? S-I-A-S-M? Yeah, that sounds right. Enthusiasm. All right. Week number 2, we've got our CRM. We're still packing our brown bag lunch every day. We're still talking fantasy football at the cooler. But now we're going to take it a step further. We're mastering our pitch. If you can't do this, your chance of being a high-level earner in a sales job is zilch. None. Mastering your pitch. To this day, I have been gone from my last sales job for 5 years. I can still do the pitch to a T out loud to anybody because I did it tens of thousands of times. And it should be the most enthusiastic robot you've ever met in your life. Robotic to the point that you can do it on the fly and fill in some names, some company names, and some interchanging parts with undying enthusiasm. Number 1 is tonality. If I make this video right now and I talk like this and I'm super monotone and I'm looking around and you are just listening to it, are you really going to pay any attention? As opposed to, I'm here, I'm talking about sales, I'm extremely knowledgeable, and I love what I talk about. You probably have a better chance at closing. You probably have a better chance at just getting some sort of engagement and giving yourself a chance to close if you can check these 3 boxes. Number 1 is tonality. You get anyone on the phone or in person, put your best foot forward. Honestly, when you train, and you need to train, you want to be a high-level salesperson, we can get more into this, you need to train. Just like if you want to be a professional athlete or you want to get your weight room numbers up or you want to lose weight, it takes repetition. It takes training. It takes time. No one gets out of bed and is the best salesman or woman in the world. They spend years and years working on it, succeeding, failing, getting better. It's the same. And the more and more you practice, the better you're going to get and the quicker you're going to be successful and generate revenue and hopefully more income. Tonality. It takes no skill. It is purely effort. It doesn't even take knowledge base of what you're selling. And you don't even have to be that enthusiastic. You just have to raise the volume and know when to lower the volume as you go throughout your pitch. Good morning. This is Sam McGovern. Am I speaking with Richard? If I just said, good morning, this is Sam McGovern. Am I speaking with Richard? I sound like a crazy person. As opposed to, good morning. This is Sam McGovern. Am I speaking with Richard? Yeah, you're speaking with Richard. Great. Richard, thanks so much for taking my call. The reason I'm calling is because, and we'll get into it. 2, knowledge base. You do not need to be selling a certain product for 10 years. As a matter of fact, I can't think of any successful salespeople that I know that have been selling the same product for 10 years. If they're really good at sales for more than 5 or 6 years, they're probably managing a team or in some C-suite executive role after that point. If someone is selling the same thing over and over for 10 years as an employee, they might be in a dead-end job. So don't worry about being experienced. I outsold people twice my age when I was 23, 24 years old because, yeah, I educated myself on what I was selling, but I prepared myself on the sales pitch. Remember, what you're selling is not what you're performing. Just because you close the deal doesn't mean you need to turn around and be the subject matter expert on construction or real estate or whatever you're selling. Your job is to be the salesperson, to generate more clients. So you need to be expressing a knowledge base that gives them the confidence layer that you're serious and you know what you're talking about. There's nothing worse than when I speak to salespeople and I ask them questions and they're saying, "Oh, well, I don't know." As opposed to, well, what we can do is provide XYZ. Anything beyond that, I'd love to set up a call with you and my manager, John. John can speak to that in detail, and he's available this afternoon at 2:30. Can I set that call up? That is already almost a sale within itself. If I get John on the phone, the manager, and they're willing to take the time and the effort to talk to him, I can almost guarantee you they're going to hire us for some sort of business. Number 3 is enthusiasm. You have to like what you do. You have to be obnoxiously confident about it. And every day, you need to stack days of enthusiasm. And if you can't do that, you either need to get a new job or take time off. Trust me, everyone hits that wall. I've been there. Sometimes you just got to sit at home in your jammies, order The Godfather in your underwear, and get some DoorDash and just unplug your brain for 48 hours before the long weekend. That's cool. But 260, 275 days a year, you got to bring it, especially when you're on the phone. Enthusiasm is the underlying thing that, again, requires no skill. None of these things require any skill. They require effort, which is not skill, and they require being passionate about what you do. And if you aren't passionate about sales, you shouldn't be watching this video. So, mastering our pitch, tonality, knowledge base, and enthusiasm. If you're joining an existing sales team, I would ask for a copy of their script. I would bring it home. I would write it on my hand. I would act it out, read it to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, whatever. And once you have it memorized, because memorizing it takes 48 hours if you put some effort into it, then you need to use the script and practice in different arenas, different sessions, different areas. I have done anything you could think of. Number 1, get a mirror. Just talk into a mirror. It doesn't need to be a full body mirror, but do the pitch over and over again in the mirror. Do it on the phone. Leave yourself a voicemail from another phone. How's it sound? All those things. Do it again. I need to increase my tone up here. I need to dial it back here. I need to be more clear when I speak. I need to repeat my phone number twice. I need to make sure I give my phone. I forgot to give my name. I forgot to say where I'm calling from. All those things. Normal. You're going to suck. You're going to suck at it for your first 1,000 calls. And then your second 1,000 calls, you're going to suck a little bit less. And so forth to the point that you're a savage. I would say the number 1 exercise that I've ever done, I love this exercise. Get into a conference room at your office. Hopefully you guys have a Polycom speaker or something in the middle of your conference table. And make cold calls standing 8 to 10 feet away from the phone, forcing you to yell across the room. If you can do this, and if you really want to take it a step further, have other people come into the room so that you're embarrassed. If you can do this, you will have no problem cold calling throughout your life or pitching throughout your life, because you need to be able to pitch your services or your job. If you get a call while you're on a train to New York with your girlfriend and her parents, or if you're in a quiet setting at your home office, or if you are walking down a busy street in Manhattan, you need to be able to do it at all times. You can't do that unless you feel comfortable and confident. You can't feel comfortable and confident unless you do things over and over again in a number of different scenarios. Put yourself into weird, tough scenarios. Walk outside and make as many cold calls as you can while you're outside. Go into a quiet room. Never get knocked off stay comfortable and stay confident. It's going to reverberate to the other end of the phone call over and over again. My favorite exercise, again, number one, doing the pitch in the mirror. If you can do it with a spouse, significant other, friend, whatever, that's great too, so that you have someone else to talk to and you're not a total crazy person. But for the most part, just in the mirror, watching the way that I talk, watching how's my mouth moving, how's my presentation, how's my posture, because these phone sales are probably going to convert into in-person sales, pitches, meetings. Next thing you know, you're in boardrooms with people twice your age, making 5 times as much as you, if not more. And you need to bring it. You need to be prepared. And again, you don't have to know the history of your company from the day it started and every service you provide in detail. That's not your job. Your job is to be the directive force to get the sale from A to Z and to be as enthusiastic as possible along the way. You're pulling along everyone within your organization and everyone within the client's organization until the deal is done and you've secured the revenue and in turn your commission. Until that point, it's all your fault. Never look at your boss or anyone else in your organization, and definitely not your client's organization, and say, what are we doing here? Why haven't we closed? You close it. You create the directive. You create the follow-up dates. You lead the follow-ups. Even if that just means, great, thanks everyone for getting here today. Today, we're going to try to get the deal done. I know the last pain point that we had was the client wants X, Y, Z. We are able to provide just Y and Z. So let's talk about getting them X, and let's get this done here in the next hour. John, you got any points? Boom, you're probably done for the meeting. That's sales. That's a sales job. So we have gotten through the CRM. We want to move fast. We want to have quality behind the speed. And we want to close at volume. Week 2, we mastered our script and our pitch. We're incredibly enthusiastic. We understand tonality, and we have a good knowledge base of what the heck we're selling. Now we're going to start calling. And I know that you can make an argument, I'm reading an article in the New York Times this morning about a guy who made $65 million last year selling telehealth services for weight loss drugs. And it was just him and his brother, and they used all AI or something like that. Good for them. Most companies, in order to generate revenue, need sales. And still to this day, in my experience, phone sales are the best way, especially for B2B sales and B2C sales, to generate revenue, generate clients, and there in turn close deals. Here's how to, again, hit the pinnacle, max dollars for a number that you're looking to achieve. So let's just say your goal is to bring in $1 million in gross revenue to the company. You're making, call it $50,000, and you get, 1% of everything you bring in or something like that. Don't worry about that right now. Worry about generating as much revenue for the company and you being an absolute savage. Because even if your boss screws you in a year from now and drastically underpays you, the skills that you will get from doing this at a really high level, you'll be able to make money for the rest of your life, whether you work for someone else or work for yourself. If everything goes belly up in my current business, you will find me in a high-level sales job being the top sales guy. I can guarantee it. And I will always be able to put food on the plate for my family because of the skills that I was taught and I learned in sales. So let's just say we want to make $1 million. What is, and you need to have these conversations with your bosses, with your sales leader, whatever. What is the average revenue of bringing on a new client or securing a new deal? Let's just say in this case, it's $25,000. I think that's pretty typical for like a higher end realtor, someone selling a service-based industry product, consulting firm, things like that. $25,000 average new client. And we got to hit the $1 million this year. So if I do the math, if I generate $25,000 for every new client that I bring in, I need to bring in $80,000 a month to hit $1 million a year. A little more than that. What is that? 90,000? So call it plus. I don't have a calculator. I basically need to bring in $90K a month to hit my $1 million goal. So that would mean I need 3.5 to 4, let's call it 4 new clients a month to guarantee that I hit the $1 million goal. Now let's take it a step further. We want to take the macro goal, which is the $1 million number. This is your macro goal. And we're going to break it down all the way to a micro activity that you can do every day, that you're in total control of, and that you know if you just do this micro activity or 2 activities per day, it should, in theory, by law, add up to you hitting your macro goal. And if you were to hit this, everything would be great. So we need $25,000 average new client. We need 4 new clients a month to make sure we exceed $1 million this year. We're generating 4 new clients a month. Now we need to know how many calls do we need to make? Or, all right, let's just say there's no cold calling in your business. It's emails or, some sort of mailing, some sort of outbound marketing. How many pieces of outbound marketing do we need to make per day to set up one meeting, one pitch, one interview, one, realtor appointment, whatever you want to call it, that qualifying meeting right before the close? How many pieces of outbound sales do we need to do to get one of those? Let's just say on average, for every 100 cold calls you make, you get 1 appointment. And if you have 4 appointments a week, you have 1 Monday through Thursday, I would like to think that you can close at least one of them. Again, we're being conservative here. And then as we get better and we close more at a higher percentage, we blow this number out of the water. But for math's sake and getting started sake, let's focus on this. If 100 calls gets me 1 appointment, and I need 4 appointments to get 1 close, that would mean that if I make 100 calls a day, I would in turn get 5 appointments a week. If I have 5 appointments a week, I would have almost 1.25 closings a week. 4 weeks in a month, that puts you at 5 closings a month at $25K. That's $125K a month. 125K times 12. I really should have brought my calculator over here with me. I can do this. It's 1.25 million, right? Yeah. No. It's more than that. 125K times 12. It's like 1.5 million. I don't know. I'm under a lot of pressure here, all right? It's my first long video. So, we start off with a macro goal. This macro goal is going to make our boss incredibly happy, or it's going to achieve all of our financial dreams, or just our short-term goals. That's okay too. And we broke that down to a monthly basis. That's about a little under $90,000 a month. And let's just say in this business, we average $25,000 per new client. This would be your big X factor. If this number changes, let's just say your number's 10,000. You need to multiply all these other activities by that much more. If it's 50,000, you can cut all these in half, right? Or you can just set this goal twice as high. 25,000 average new client base. That would mean that we need to generate 4 new clients per month, and we would exceed the target. If 100 calls gets you 1 appointment, if you are making 100 cold calls a day and you're not getting at least one really good appointment out of it, you are either calling the wrong people or you are not very good on the phone. 100 cold calls a day should get you at the very least one appointment. Don't worry about closing a deal off those 100 calls. That's not what they're for. I don't know anyone who's selling anything with an average revenue of $25,000 who is closing people on the phone on an initial cold call. Think about it. $25,000. It's a nice Hyundai. How many people are buying a $25,000 Hyundai off of one cold call right then and there? If you can do that, then you should start making sales videos. So remember, if we get 4 new clients a month, and let's just say 100 cold calls, so that's one appointment. If 4 appointments are getting us one close, 100 calls will get us more than what we need per week. In turn, we're closing over a client a week, and we're blowing this number out of the water by 50%. That's how you need to look at it. You've spent, in 3 weeks, you've gone from mastering your CRM to mastering your pitch to now mastering your day-to-day activities. Okay, I don't need to think about $1 million. I just need to think about 100 cold calls a day. 100 cold calls a day. And I'm calling when I am in the office first thing in the morning, when I have the most amount of energy and enthusiasm, and I'm using the end of my day to prep for all this other stuff we're talking about. Those appointments, those in-person meetings, quality assurance with the clients, trying to get referrals to make that number that much easier to attain, trying to get more business out of existing clients. These are all more videos to make. But if you follow these 3 steps, you should in turn generate as much money for your business and then in turn for yourself in any sales job, B2B or B2C.